Hello, everybody. Um, Welcome to your previous homeland,
Yes, it was.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, exactly.
And you came at the time where it rained a lot and a lot of traffic, but
They said there
usually,
was a monsoon in New York. I was driving and I didn't see
and then it was
anything
just
and no
pouring.
road, nothing. I mean, it's just rain.
Yeah.
Not even cars. I wouldn't be able to see
Yeah.
if I'm driving into the puddle or not. It was
Um,
crazy.
and currently, I would love for you to introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself to the
Okay.
audience. That would be helpful.
To the audience, I will not look at the camera. I'll
Just look
look
at
at
me.
you.
Just tell me like I'm the audience.
Okay. You know about me, but you don't know about me much, right? So let
In
me.
the last 5 years, I would say, no
You
clue
have
what
no
you've been up to.
idea, right?
Yeah.
When I was in Boston, I was working at a school, and I was a CFO for a public school, and then in 2021, I think that was 2021. I wouldn't say we decided. I would say Nyla decided, and then
That's
we
usually how
moved.
that
Yeah,
goes.
exactly. Get ready for that. When what happened, I was as a CFO. I was working as a CFO, and then I was at the board for Massachusetts Association for School
Right.
Business Officials. Then we decided that it's too cold here. I wasn't convinced before, but then she convinced me, and she decided for me, and I'm glad that she did. Since I moved to Dallas, I quit my job as a CFO. I did a few years as a quality assurance tester, automation job, like a software engineer, but it's not that kind of
Right.
software engineer. Then I transitioned into front end, and then I got fired from my job. And I'm so happy that I got fired from my
Was it
job.
like a layoffs thing or?
It was the kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
it was mixed. After I got fired, we decided that I should just continue my own work, and I started the company. I started the company back in
And your
2020.
company is called
Flowlist.
Flawless.
It's Flowlyst. People
Okay.
usually don't type that. That's why I have to spell it. That's a wrong naming strategy, by the way. But I love
Flawless.
the company name. I started Flowlist in 2020, and I had a few clients, customers as an automation. And then once I got free, now I could do a lot. So I
Right.
started doing a lot of AI trainings. Now I go to conferences, I do keynotes on. My keynote is a little bit different. It's still related to AI, but it's all about how can we utilize AI to create efficiency? But while we have efficiency, how can we appreciate people around us?
Right.
Because we gain time, we can spend that time to actually appreciate people and not just always demand, but say we do appreciate what you do. That's the biggest issue right now in a workplace. People do a lot of work and no one says thank you, but then if there's one problem, then bye bye,
Yeah, it's their
you get
issue.
fired, right?
Right.
I started that keynote, and then I do a lot of AI trainings, and mostly to people who don't know what AI is. They don't know where to start, and it includes people who think they know
They
AI,
know. Yeah.
but it ends up being, it's not about AI, it's not about giving a prompt, but it's more about following the workflow. I teach that.
And I'm guessing it's for usage, not just for personal, but also like for their jobs slash their projects or whatever they're working on.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way I try to teach. I teach personal stuff, like I teach them how to write music to mess with
Yeah.
their friends, right? That's a very common thing. But I also teach them how would I, as a so and so, right, as your position, how do I use AI? What are the use cases?
Right.
So I try to give them real use cases that they can apply on Monday. And what I found out that as I go to these different companies, you walk into the company, you have this AI guru in the company, and then you have this a person who doesn't even know what it is. I mean, they ask me, is this a tool or is it a website?
Yeah.
Can I download it on my phone? I mean, I have those questions too. But you realize that when you start speaking with people, there are a lot of things that they don't utilize. One of them being tools.
Right.
Tools are great things that you can use.
So hold that thought, because I just
You
want to
need to
quickly
introduce yourself.
introduce
Yeah,
myself,
exactly.
and then I do have a point going off of that, which is mostly, and I'm gonna pose the question now and then come back to it later, just so
go
you
ahead.
can like
Yeah,
let
yeah,
it marinate. But what is your thoughts on, should everyone be using AI for their jobs, in a sense that, because there's a lot of like AI slop, and a lot of people rely on AI, or at least in my workplace, a lot of people rely on AI too much, where they don't even check AI's work to a point, and sometimes that can have catastrophic and can be very misleading for that person. So I want to get your thoughts on, is it better to train some people to be really good at AI, where they can create tools for the rest of the people to use in a responsible manner, or should everyone be, mediocre or efficient enough to be able to do their things? But that's just a question.
I'm holding it. I'm holding it.
Hold it. But I'm Isa, as you know, and when you left, I was just starting. It was 5 years ago, right?
It was
You
5 years
left.
ago.
Yeah. When you left, I was just starting a company, and the past 5 years, I was starting it with my brother and one other person, and they're kind of like, we're all involved in the sphere. But the idea was to help small businesses, especially the ones that are in trades, the ones that are like more blue collar, so like construction, electricians, plumbing, um, the guys or the gals who haven't really gotten that business education and have to go and like lose money, lose time, figure things out to really make it, and no one is like helping them out with that. Or they will just go and like, not knowing any better, overpay for a digital marketing agency or whatnot. So the mission of the company was help them out. And the first thing that was easiest, because I also had a full-time job at the time, which I still do have that full-time job, because I love doing what I do as an engineer. What I knew what to do was help them out by providing them the service. But I would give them really good prices. I'd give them the things that they didn't need. I'd give them the business advice that, not that they didn't need, they didn't even know what to ask for. I'd give them the business advice that wasn't included in that fee and so on. The goal was, one, to learn what their pain points were, and number two was to actually help them succeed in their business. And I'll never forget, this was like 2 years after, maybe 2022 or whatever. I was like, I want to run something by you, and I actually called you at like a Zoom meeting in like 2022.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the question I asked was like, how scalable is service? Because you're older than me, and we kind of came up in a similar system growing up. So I trusted your opinion, and I asked you on, hey, like, what do you think I should do? And I asked this from my dad and like from other people that are older than me to get the idea. And you said service is a lot of headache, but try to make it like repeatable and scalable. So you posed it as like, make tools that the business owners, those same small business owners, can use themselves to excel in what they do, from the business standpoint and from marketing standpoint, to get their name out. I was like, okay, cool. So then I went and like worked and created a CRM and created these things where it was really hard. People adopted it, but it was really hard for those people to still do it themselves because of the lack of the education and knowledge. And then I went and I created a huge knowledge base on frameworks for business, frameworks for marketing, and it's still on our website, vitanerd.com, where you can go and like look at those things. But it got to a point where I, again, 2 years later, pivoted one more time about in 2025, start of 2025, pivoted one more time. This is just when AI was becoming more prominent, and I started transforming those SaaS tools we're making into standalone AI tools that have AI agents within them that basically yes, they do need the small business owners' input, but they can take those things and do some things autonomously, or, you know, provide the information in a streamlined way and represent who I was to that small business owner in 2020. Like, that was the whole idea. But I've been working really hard on it, and it got me to get involved a lot in AI and AI agents, which then I started kind of training some other people to be able to do it, and hiring people, then training them within my own company, and then teaching it to some of my friends and family and some of my students on how to create their own little tools to use at their work, or to go and make it into a business if there's enough demand. That's basically last 5 years.
Great transformation.
It's like 1, 2, 3, but you learn along the way, and AI was not that prominent or capable in 2020, so it wasn't
you get
just
your
out
hands
of the question.
Dirty, right? You need to get your hands dirty to understand the industry, understand their pain points. Otherwise, you won't know.
Okay. That being said, I want to go back to the question and pose that for you of, do you think AI should be democratized in the long run, or do you think some people are better off not even using it to like its full abilities?
I think it's asking, let me give you an example. I was chatting with a colleague the other day, and she said, I remember the time that we had only one email address for the whole company, and our boss would look at those email addresses and print those emails and distribute the emails to whoever we have in the office and whoever
it's so
that
efficient.
email is related, right? Now, I think it's very similar to that kind of situation. Do we teach email to everyone, or do we have particular people who actually use email?
That will become the bottleneck in the long run.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think AI is, I'm not comparing AI to email, but I'm comparing AI to internet. Internet is, I mean, a lot of people, it's not my thing, right? A lot of people compare the AI to internet. That internet boom was in the beginning, not everyone was using it, only a few people, maybe techies, geeks, and all of that. But now we cannot live without it.
Yeah.
Every place we go to, we first step in and ask, do you have Wi-Fi? Right?
Like earlier, you were
earlier.
Here,
I came here and I got
no
stuck.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no Wi-Fi. We don't have life without Wi-Fi now, which means that now internet is part of our life.
Right.
Now, if we say, okay, these two people will create AI tools in the company, and then those AI tools will be used by everyone else in the company, how do you get the buy-in from those people? Now they see it as a burden. And I go to these companies and I do the trainings, right? When I walk in, I first meet with the leaders, management, the C-level. C-level's view is, what kind of tools can we build so that it can help our employees?
Help the employees or the bottom line?
Both. Bottom line and employees, because they are also concerned that employees are using a lot of time, do manual tasks. What kind of tools can we build and push to the employees so that it's easier for them to work? But then the conversation turns a little bit after we speak a little, because my point of view is not you hire only a few AI engineers, build these sparkly tools, and suddenly everything changes, right? No, it doesn't work that way. You need to improve your staff's AI literacy so that they can take AI. I mean, it's a simple chat. Come on. It's a chat box. You ask a question, you get an answer. It's very simple.
Not in my world, but I understand what you're saying.
In your world too. I mean, not particularly creating agents and all that. I'm not talking about that.
The issue in my world, and that is a bit more like for tech companies, let's say, right? Yeah. I think CEOs' views are a little bit more reserved. And what I mean by that is, all right, it's so much more easier to do what we do here, so why wouldn't 2 and 3 engineers that I have enabled and taught them and invested in them want to go and become my competition in 2-3 years?
Yeah, so let's not talk about tech companies, because tech companies are different.
A little more cutthroat.
There's like tech companies, 3% of the world, and then 97% of the
like
world, the
other
rest of the world,
businesses,
right?
yeah.
So I'm thinking about the other businesses, and I'm not saying one is wrong. I'm thinking the C-level's job should be that, should be what can I come up with to create efficiency? What can I come up with to compete with my competition better and to be more knowledgeable from my competition? But at the same time, they're also another priority for them should be how can I uplift my people
Right.
that they can become AI literate and they can do their job better.
And make it part of the culture.
Exactly.
So for any CEO, the first metrics that are most important to them are revenue and then profitability. And what I mean by profitability is expenses. So your operating expenses and your income, you subtract them, how much profitability you have. What I have seen so far is people invest in AI thinking that they're just going to bring down their expenses. But as you're stating, they should not focus on, hey, I'm going to get 2-3 people to, do 5 people's job and not hire anymore, but instead try to work on increasing revenue, which will still end up in their profitability being higher, but there's just 2 paths that they can choose from. And I love that you're bringing up that the companies you're walking into, you're pushing them to, make it part of their fabric and part of their culture.
Yeah, so. And I think it's also from the employee's point of view. I see a lot of people, I work with a lot of governments, right? Governmental agencies, schools, which is public schools, they're public entities. I also work with private. Mm-hmm. Now, private is a little bit different because everyone is scared that they will lose their job. In public is a little bit different, right? Now, what I'm thinking also is that employees who resist AI, they say that, oh, AI will take my job. That's why I shouldn't touch it. Those employees will lose their jobs very fast. Yeah. Because think about it. People who use AI can deliver much faster. People who don't use AI deliver for a very long time. Right. They take a long time to deliver. Who would you hire?
Depends. For example,
the same quality.
Okay, same quality changes the question.
Same quality, same
if
background.
The quality
everything
drops,
is the same.
Right.
One delivers in 2 hours, one delivers in 2 weeks.
The 2 hour one. Because in 2 weeks they can deliver 10 things.
Exactly. So now think about it. If you are the person who automates the workflows, and I'm not talking about tech companies, engineers create these interesting tools and then they lose their job because, I'm not talking about
they
that.
replace themselves.
Exactly. I'm talking about the small business.
Right.
In the small business, they can automate things that they do and they go home on time.
Right.
That's the most important part of this, I think.
You know what's funny? It's like AI, I think, is giving the control back. Speaking of small businesses, giving the control back, because I remember in 2021 I was running like Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. It's actually on my channel still, and it was saying, it was pictures were coming up. Do you want to spend more time with your family? And do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And because we'll identify that those were their main pain points. This person sat down and read through like pages and pages and Wikipedia and Googled and YouTube videos of how do I do SEO? How do I do social media marketing? Because they want their business to do well and they want to figure out how to do it without having to spend a ton of money. But now with AI, it's like, hey, I'm not just going to teach you how to do it. I'm actually going to do some of it for you and like do some of that work for you and do it so much faster. So that goes back to the question we talked about before even turning the lights on was, do you automate the process or do you elevate the person? And I think we're in consensus that elevating the person to automate the process is actually better than...
That's the great analogy, right? Do you
automate the process
or eliminate the person? Eliminate the person.
I know. So to automate the process, which I think the cynical part of that question is that, and then eliminate the person.
Yeah.
Or you elevate the person.
To automate the process.
To automate the process.
I think
so now you flip the question on its head, which is great.
So
And
now,
we just came to that by talking to each other.
exactly. And I think that's the best approach at this point. People right now are scared that they'll lose their jobs. But is it that, or should we elevate them so that they don't
Or
lose
can
their
we do
job
better
and they can
jobs?
do more with what they have
And better.
and better? Exactly. And one side of the question that you asked is that some people right now, they jump on AI really fast and then they start replacing what they do with AI and don't even check it.
Unreliably.
That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And here's an analogy that I will put behind it. If you have an assistant, imagine that you're a director somewhere and then you have an assistant. You ask your assistant to do something. You bring a manila folder. You put it on their desk. You leave. No, you don't. First, you explain it, and that comes to the prompting, right? We'll talk about prompting in a little bit.
They question it.
But then, when your assistant makes a mistake, you take that mistake and report, you submit it to your C-level. Who's getting fired? The assistant or you? You are responsible.
You're responsible for the system.
Exactly. You're responsible. It doesn't matter who made the report, who gave the report.
You had to check it.
Exactly. You had to check it.
You're the human.
So AI, treat it as an assistant. Treat it as a junior
not
colleague.
As a replacement.
Not as a replacement. You're still the brains and it's your responsibility to check the output. If you, like an example, we were preparing this presentation today and we did AI research. And we came up with these statistics about AI usage on students and adults and all of that. And then it came back with a result, and the result was really good. And then I challenged the result. I said, did we check the source? Do we know that the source is correct? And then we didn't. Then what happened? We said, okay, give us the sources. We want to click and actually check the fact. One of the numbers was a UK result.
Right. So AI does have that way of like twisting and bending to make you more pleasured. And I agree with you. Like you'll leave out those details where it's like, all right, this doesn't really make my point valid. All it does is it gets you off the hook.
Exactly. I'm in US. I am in front of US employees. I'm presenting to US. But you're giving me a survey from UK. It's not relevant. I mean, it can be relevant to my question, but it's not relevant fact that I can present because it's not here.
So what do you think organizations, what do you think will end up shaking out with organizations where their employees do not adopt AI? Do you think they will lose out as a company, or they'll have to take drastic measures to replace their employees with the ones that are open to AI?
I think.
And what do you think is the time frame on that? Like
I have no idea about the time frame. God knows. We didn't know that in 3 years we'll be here.
Yeah.
Now I rely on AI a lot. It creates my files. It analyzes all of my financial data and creates dashboards for me.
Right.
In 2023, we were happy that it can speak to us.
It could answer some basic questions.
Exactly. So the most important thing that companies can do is the training. If they do not train their employees properly, employees will still use AI, but they will use AI wrong.
Okay.
And that will affect the company.
For the training, where do you think the starting point is?
The starting point, I think the best training is introductory training for everyone, for all staff, that covers the security measures and that covers the use cases. Because we need hand-holding. Everything we start, we need hand-holding. You start to play basketball. Before you shoot, you need to know that you need to shoot.
Right.
Because if you don't know that you have a ball, you have a basket, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Can you dribble? How many times can you hold the ball? How many times can you pass?
You need to know what the rules are.
Exactly. If you don't know the rules, then you can't play. And it's not about that much about rules, but it's giving people real use cases that they can go back to their desk and start implementing it. That's the most important feature of the training. You find a trainer who can come to your organization, to your place, and actually show you by holding your hand, this is your use case. Go and open ChatGPT, open Claude, open Gemini, open this, type this message, get this message out, and apply it.
Right. I want to not switch the subject, but kind of zoom out a little bit from the people's inside of the companies to talking quickly about companies themselves in terms of the AI playing field. So right now, let's say there's like a company has, 20 to 50 employees, and then there's a company that they're, doing similar things, but obviously competing, that has 2,000 to 5,000 employees. Do you think those trainings and having those resources to train their employees on AI will actually AI will help them balance the playing field where the 20, 50 people who are very efficient at using AI can compete, truly compete with a company that has 200 to 500 employees? Or do you think will it just make the bigger players just more bigger instead of helping the small guys to kind of catch up?
I think it depends on the player. What happened to Kodak when digital photography came out? Right? Kodak didn't see it as an important move, and they kept on it, and then they kind of gave up.
So if you look at that,
so it depends on the company.
Blockbuster versus Netflix, for example.
Exactly.
What happened there? Let's say it was today
in
the AI world, right? Or Netflix versus an AI studio that is coming up with something innovative, like they're not going and shooting the videos and paying them much money, but they're creating it using AI and whatnot. But do you think if it happened today, Blockbuster would have been able to turn a blind eye like they did to Netflix back then?
Of course, there are tons of companies who turn blind eye.
So you don't think AI is as prominent where the bigger players have no choice but to implement parts of it in their process?
It depends, though. I mean, it depends the company culture.
Right.
If the company doesn't value innovation, then they will still be behind.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, do you think AI has transcended innovation and has become the status quo, or do you think it's still in a stage right now, based on your experiences with organizations and companies, where it's optional?
Okay, question one more time.
Okay. Do you think AI has transcended at this point to a bigness or to a stage where it's not optional anymore and everyone has to do it?
Not at all.
Or do you think it's still an optional play?
It's in infancy. It's not optional. It's mandatory. If you ask me, it's mandatory. Yeah. However, people see it as mandatory? No.
No, people
don't. And that's the problem.
People don't. That's
exactly.
the problem.
That's the problem. I love that graph that Stephen Bartlett, his show. No, his show is Interview with CEO.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Right.
Yeah. Or I haven't seen the graph, but I've seen that podcast.
What is his show? I think it's.
It's like.
He sits down with CEOs and he interviews them. The Diary of CEO.
The Diary of CEO. Yeah.
Now he shared a graph, and I love that graph, and I use his graph all the time. It shows the dotted plot of the world, and how many people use AI, how many people use free tools, how many people use paid tools, and how many people actually use AI to build something. Mm-hmm. We can include that in the
in the overlay.
And then when you look at the graph, the top part, a majority piece of that is gray, which represents people who don't know AI, don't use AI.
Unfortunately.
The second majority is green.
Free tools.
They use it as Google.
Yeah.
And with Google, it's like you search a term and then you get an answer, right? So now you have this green part, which it's like a fun tool for them. Then you have yellow dots, only a few. Maybe 6 or 7 yellow dots. And every dot represents 3.2 million people. And those people actually pay $20 subscription. And you know how many dots are red dots? Which you actually use something to build?
To build.
Yeah.
And to create.
Can you guess?
It's probably in like 1 million of people in the world. Maybe a little less.
Okay,
2
it's
million.
a little more. It's 2.5 million, but
Yeah.
it's only
But it's
one dot.
Out of 8 billion people.
Exactly.
That's tiny. But
It's tiny.
you know what is crazy? When I work on the stuff that I'm building, and I'm like, how cannot everyone like do this? Because like to me, it maybe, and that's the bias. I'm thinking that there's like 1,000 people around me that are doing the exact same thing.
No.
But when I go and talk to people,
Yes.
get out of my bubble and I talk to people, just ordinary people, even my friends my age that are working at corporate, they're like, they know a couple of tools and like that's it. And I'm like, wow, we're really ahead. And what I'm trying to do with that is to create things, back to like the small businesses, to create things where I can democratize. At least for me, it's marketing. For someone else, it's finance. For someone else, it's like some other tool to help those companies until they realize they need to do it themselves, at least to provide a targeted tool or like a specific tool that'll basically allow them to play with the bigger players and not just be crushed. Because the bigger players have started doing that.
Exactly.
But the
Most
smaller
of them.
players, unfortunately, not yet.
Now, pause.
Okay, so I want to ask you a couple of questions, and I'm going to ask you follow-up questions and make it into a conversation because I also have opinions about these.
Good.
But if someone is listening to us right now and feels like, oh, I've missed the train, I'm so behind, and feels very overwhelmed, which we precluded that with, hey, actually, you're not behind, right? Like, not many people are on this train yet.
Exactly.
And it's like not late. It's kind of saying like in 1995, being like, oh my God, I missed the internet. Like, that's it. No more internet for me. But let's say that's the case. What would be not like an aspirational, oh, use 2 hours to sit behind ChatGPT today. What would be like honest first steps of them kind of like the way of thinking or the first steps they can take to actually get involved in using AI in their daily workflows or for their work or personal lives?
So I actually recommend this in all of my trainings.
I'm getting some good value here.
Yeah. First step would be, and to me, that's where I would start. If you don't know, if you were using AI just as a Google, or if you have no idea what to use, open any platform. Doesn't matter. Open ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, whichever. Then here's the prompt. It's a very simple prompt. You say, as blank, as a business owner, as a restaurant owner, as a
data
teacher,
analyst.
as a data analyst, as whatever. At, put your, where you work, like at
or industry
certain,
or
not
company.
Industry, but the company
okay.
itself, right? At Lenovo, at this restaurant, at the here, which is located,
in this
put
locality.
your geographical area. How can I use you and the tools you provide? That the second part is extremely important, because you want to explicitly say the tools you provide, so that if, let's say, ChatGPT has what tools? Deep research, web search, it has picture generation, image generation, it has Canvas, it has writing.
Actually, as you do that, let me show people. As you're talking about that, let me just literally type that in.
Oh yeah. Let's type that in Claude, right?
Yeah, let's do it as an electrician.
Okay, good. As an electrician.
Electrician.
Who works
at a local electrical
or
company.
Do they own the electric
people.
company?
No,
okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, 50 people. Let's say.
I'm sorry. Let's do it as an owner.
Yeah, as an owner, because that's more.
A local electrical company of 20 employees. Employees in, we're in Newton, so I'm just gonna say Newton, MA.
Okay, yeah, Dallas, Texas. Yeah, but yeah. No, I'm kidding. Newton, MA is good.
Come on, man. Newton MA.
How can I use you?
How can I use you? And we're gonna set like a precedent. I feel like, how can I use you to increase revenue, gain more customers?
Just plain, because we don't know what we can do with
operations.
We don't know what we can do with it.
But the thing is, like, I know what the pain points are. Yes. Okay.
Why are you
But
so
I know what the
hurry?
pain points are of my business. That's why I would get help.
You do. That's the second part.
Right.
This is the first
How
part,
can
because
I
you
use
don't know
and the tools
if you can, if it can help you with revenue, if it can help you this, right? To
do what though? What's the goal? Like,
we'll see. We'll see. Let's just review it, right? Tools you provide. Give me
5 actionable.
10. You asked me question. Give me 10 use cases.
I'm the captain now.
10 use cases.
I should just let you talk.
Exactly. Open your microphone.
Sorry, this is the difference between I and him. But yes, go ahead.
As an electrician who has a business that has 20 people in Newton, Massachusetts area, how can I use you and the tools you provide? Give me 10 use cases, and each use case should be less than 15 minutes. And give me a starting prompt for those use cases that I can apply tomorrow.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Sorry, I'll take that out. Couldn't hold my excitement.
Now do you understand, right?
I do,
because
yeah.
it is AI, and now you gave it
But this
a
is
role.
like very much ground zero, which I have difficulty understanding. Like, even when I teach, I require as a prerequisite for people to be knowledgeable in some areas already. So I understand where you're coming from, where you have to teach people at ground zero.
Yeah, zero. Yeah. Because think about it.
And look, that took like 2 seconds.
And is it relevant? Can you read a few?
All right. Well, it says E background because I'm an EE. So
electric engineer background?
So we'll switch gears. We'll say electrical engineering
company. Okay.
Turn a rough job into customer-ready quote. You describe the scope out loud, panel upgrade, EV charger install, whatever, and I draft an itemized climate estimate with labor, materials, and permit line items you can clean up and send. That is one of the biggest time sinks for any electrician contractor.
How I do my proposals right now.
I do my proposals. It's like, I even have the design to the T ready.
Yeah.
All I do is I'm like, this is the company name. This is what I talk to them in the phone about. These are the services that they want, blah, blah, blah. And this is like, it already has how much I charge for those services.
Yeah.
And I even have this thing where I say, it's for my friend, and it automatically applies the discount.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it gave you number one. Number one, if you applied it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I want number one, but what do I need to give you? Then it will tell you, do you have a template? Do you have a previous proposal? Do you have a quote that you can upload? It will ask you everything.
And then it says the prompt, what it is. But you can also include pictures, like of that you took when you walked through the house, for example.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? Just those examples, 10 use cases.
That saved at least an hour a week.
Those 10 use cases will take you to a place that will make your brain think about other use cases. But if your brain doesn't think about other use cases, then give me 10 more use cases.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of AI, and I tell this. AI is a different technology. If you wanted to learn Excel before, you needed to go to a training, take a class. If you wanted to learn Photoshop, you need to take a class. You can't do it on your own because it's very detailed. AI, you can learn it from it. That's the difference.
And then once you progress, you can even have it do the job for you.
Exactly. Not all the job, but
not
most
all the
of
job,
the job.
but most of the job.
Yeah.
And then you just come in like a reviewer and you fix it wherever it's needed. But it will do like 75% of it really well.
Yeah.
And then all you have to do is just read it through or look at it, and if whatever changes you want to do. Yeah. But that comes with you learning how to prompt properly first, how to review it, and how to get the AI to do what you want it to do.
Let's talk about prompting.
Which takes some time, yes.
Because prompting is extremely important, right? we came up with this framework. We named it Tada, the framework,
Yeah.
Tada.
I saw it earlier. I was like, what is Tada?
Yeah, Tada framework. The Tada framework, what it stands for, T stands for title, which means that every time you ask a question, you assign a title.
Yeah.
Act as an electrician, act as an attorney, act as a medical doctor. Don't do that. Just go to the doctor and get checked. What you can do though, you can do medical researcher to research a topic, to understand the topic so that when doctor talks to you, you're not blind.
You finish it and I'll say something.
Okay, and then so the role is extremely important because AI is so wide, its knowledge is so, huge.
You need
topics.
to go in deep depth, get out the noise and
exactly.
go in.
You narrow it down. You say, I want your perspective from this point of view. Another example, you work at a company. You have board members that you need to report to. Every month the board meets and you as a CEO, you go report to them. What you can do, you can say, you can create a presentation, upload your presentation to AI, and now you can say, review my presentation and give me feedback. Yeah. It will say, it's a great presentation. But if you said, I have this particular board member, he's very detail-oriented, and he has no idea about financials. Can you review my presentation and tell me, act as that board member and tell me what kind of questions can come up?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right?
Or like if you're prepping for an interview, it's like this person is a principal electrical engineer of 20 years. What are the questions they will ask me?
Exactly. Act as that. So title is important. Mm-hmm. The second part is assigning the task. That's the assignment, right? A stands for the second, assignment. Now, there, our views are a little bit different. I like talking, you like writing, doesn't matter. But my point of view is when you assign a task, give as much context as possible, even though you have noise, but the more you cover, the better it understands. Tell it, why are you doing that task? Why are you asking the question? What is your ultimate goal? Who are you? What company you work for? What is the context? Like all the context that you can come up with, ask and assign.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just like to
Go
jump
ahead.
in. Earlier, when you clicked the voice thing, it wasn't active on this. I just wanted to let you know that I usually use Claude Code for my terminal, and I do have that enabled there, and I do sometimes use it. Okay. However, here in the thing, I've never used it for chatting and stuff because if I'm asking for something, usually I just want the direct whatever. Otherwise, if I'm building something or giving context, as you said, brainstorming, I will use the voice for brainstorming.
Like my lead engineer, what he would do, he would activate voice and then he would go cook. And while he's cooking, he would just talk for 10 minutes.
It's like summarize this.
Exactly. No, 10 minutes. He's talking, he's brainstorming, right? He's saying, this is an idea that I'm trying to build and this is what I'm going to do. For 10 minutes, he's describing. Then he comes back, stops it, and then AI starts planning based on that.
AI would plan or be like, oh, these are the holes I found in your reasoning and so on.
So now the second A is assignment. Okay. What does D stand for? D stand for defining the direction, which means that first, you can say to AI what to do and what not to do.
Right.
So you can put all the constraints there. For example, don't use jargon. Don't look up any information in Wikipedia. I don't like it. Or don't do this, don't do that. But on the other hand, the definition is defining the format. What kind of output do you want? Because people are missing that. They ask question, then it's 3-4 pages of material. Yeah, they need to read 3-4 pages. And if there is a problem, they fix it. And then AI now fix that, but also fix something else. Now they need to read it again. Instead, you can say, let's say you want an Excel formula. Yeah. You just say, spit out only Excel formula. I don't want your explanation. The output will be only one line.
That is like an optional thing when you're chatting and stuff. But when we're building AI automation and AI agents, the exact formatting and the JSON format or whatever formatting or MD file they're going to put out is super important for the next step to kick off because otherwise it's just going to fail.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Out of my 16 classes, about 5 of them, about 30%, 33% of them are about guardrails, human in the loop, and formatting of like how's your data gonna flow.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing for the humans too. Yes, we can understand it a little bit more on the fly, but if it's not organized and like purposeful output, it becomes confusing and overwhelming. So that's a really good point there.
I'll give you another example. You're a real estate agent and you want to compare yourself to other real estate agents in the area, and you want to, AI to do a deep research and research your review and their review and what people talk about you. Don't just say, do a deep research and give me an article. Say particularly what you want to see. For example, you can say, create a table, put how many they sold in one column, how many reviews they have in the second column, the third column, the fourth column, give all the headers of that. All of that goes in that D, definition of the output, constraints of the output. And the last A is one of the most important things that a lot of people are missing, is to let AI ask questions.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! If you don't let AI ask questions, every single thing it doesn't know from your prompt, it will assume.
Yeah, you said that earlier, but I do that a lot too. I'll give it a prompt and then I'll say, ask any questions if you're like 50% sure.
Yeah.
And I'll say, if you're not sure, I'd rather you ask me. And the crazy thing is, I manage a team at my current job, and I like break down the tasks for a project, and like everyone goes off, and I'll see them in 2 weeks. But I tell them same thing. I'm like, if you're unsure, instead of going in the wrong direction, just come back to me and just ask me, and I'll help you like understand it much better. And AI in that sense is not much different.
And that's very important part, right? You remember how I described you give a job to your assistant?
Yeah.
Same analogy, different perspective. You come, you drop a manila folder, you leave. No, you open the manila folder, you explain what you're asking, you explain the format you're expecting your assistant to give it to you. And then before you leave, I asked this question, and this was like a lot of leaders in the room. I asked this question, what do you say before you leave to your assistant? One said, do it now. The other one said, can you finish it by tomorrow?
Do you have any questions?
Exactly. The best leader would say, do you have any questions? Did I miss anything?
One other thing, just as an addition, is in communication training that I've taken and like whatever, if it's a complex task, especially like with AI, and I do this with AI and I do it with my employees, if it's a complex task, I will ask them to repeat it to me the way that they understand it.
I've never thought about it. It's perfect.
But that explains to me, one, they understood it, and the intention behind it is the same intention that I had, that the task wanted to be done. And number two is, as they're talking through it, they understand it even better, and they have questions that come up from it because they have to actually repeat it, and it shows me if they were engaged in the conversation or not. So with AI, you can do that. And every time I have like a very complex thing, I'm like, hey, tell me, like repeat to me what you think I said, and come up with a little plan for it.
Yeah, I usually do that. I say, let's brainstorm first, and after we agree on terms, then you will create a plan document for me, and then it creates a plan document, and then I read the plan document, and then I say, you missed this part. I think we need to fix this part. I didn't expect you to do that, right?
In Claude Code, and then
there's
after
that,
it plan mode, and then after that, it will create specs, and then the main lead agent will give sub-agent that spec and do the exact same thing I did to them.
Exactly.
But for their specific subtask, which is how far we've gotten in AI. But that shouldn't overwhelm people because not everyone has to go off and create all these crazy tools. The point is you just need to start somewhere.
I mean, if you did this 10 use cases that we just did,
my business would improve, my life would improve.
But you're also above
you're already ahead of your competitors, of your competitors.
Of world population.
And the world population.
Yeah. So
you're definitely ahead of your competitors.
Right? Yeah. I mean, also, let me ask you this. How many people do produce apps, phone apps, even if they are engineers?
like as a company, like publishers?
Yeah, how many people publish phone apps in the App Store?
There's probably like a
No,
million.
this is a rhetorical
Oh,
question.
like
yeah, like
it's
a
not
lot
the
of
most
people,
of the world.
a lot of people, but not the most of the world. And the apps were around since 2005.
Right, and it also doesn't mean like their app is good or getting used.
Exactly. And every day there's a new thing. And then we still have engineers who didn't produce any apps. They're
Right.
capable, but they're not doing it. So it's not like you will fall behind. It's been 20 years that the apps were around, and we have no apps that we are creating that we need, that we think that there's a problem. And nowadays, you can just ask a question to AI, and it will create an app for us.
All right, I have one more question that is a bit more, maybe a little bit more general, but I think it will open a lot of like doors in this conversation. But what is like, let's say in the last 3 year or in the last year, a belief about an AI that has changed for you? Like you thought it was about something, and you don't have to answer this right away, but you thought some way to go about it or some belief about AI and its use cases and the people learning about it. And what is one thing that has changed or shifted or you started thinking about it differently?
Honestly, I was thinking that when OpenClaw was hype, I thought, okay, we solved the problem. You know, like it'll
But then
take. And
did you make one?
I did.
I
make
made one.
Yeah,
But it was like after 3 sleepless nights, I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, and
then Claude came out a month later with their cowork.
Yeah, so I thought actually that was the moment I said, okay, I can put a computer and it will just manage my life, the whole thing, right? Write emails, answer stuff, and then I actually did isolate a computer, put an OpenClaw there, not Mac Studio. It was my old computer that I was using. And then I assigned them a job. I said, I don't want to pay for CRM tools. Can you build me a CRM tool? And you know about me, everything, right? And I asked Claude, or it was ChatGPT back then, I asked it to write down a CRM spec sheet, which will relate to my business because it knows a lot about my business. The spec sheet was great. The product description was great. And the planning was great.
How far did it get?
It didn't get anywhere.
Anywhere, it got stuck.
3 or 4 tickets. It's my fault too. I mean, I wasn't in the loop and I didn't restrict it much. But I created these like 8 different agents. One was coder, one was the architect, and one was the tester, one was code reviewer, and all these. And then the architect would assign a job. The coder would write the code. The code reviewer will refuse the code. The coder will write the code. The code reviewer will refuse the code. This will write, this will refuse. This will write, this will refuse. It was just going on. Just
an endless loop.
Yeah, endless loop. And I said, come on, guys, you spent $20 already. What are you doing? In one ticket? Really? And then, after that, of course, Claude Code came up with these multi-agent platforms. And then they enabled code being available in your phone, where you can have your desktop start doing the code, and then you can actually answer the questions, your remote control. And that solved a lot of problems. So I'm thinking we're still moving. We are not at that age like an Iron Man that everything will be in front of our eyes. But Jarvis, like it's not Jarvis yet. But I think soon
we're trending in that direction.
Have something that will ease our life very much.
Speaking of like, how you're like, build me a CRM because you have these maybe specific use cases that pertain to how you run business or features that you weren't able to find in a tool or a tool is too expensive. When do you think an AI tool that is off the shelf, generic, is okay? And when do you think you cross that threshold where you need more specialized tools built for you, or you build yourself, or you get one that's like not so like, broad and it's for a specific purpose, but you have to pay for it more? When do you think that threshold happens? So let's say you're an employee, you took Aziz training, you've been in a year, you've gotten to a point where your current things are well managed, to say the least, right? When is that next step of, hey, now I want to get into more custom stuff to do the work that's already being done better?
So I think like we build software. We build software for schools, for budget development, budget tracking,
Which is a niche.
purchase order tracking. It's very niche. And we do like salary projections and things like that.
So do you
That
think
kind
those
of-
people could do that with
No,
cowork?
and that I was going to
why?
say that level of application is so prone to mistakes that you have to have engineers to check every single piece of code, because if you miss one digit, that's $2 million.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very big mistake that you can make. So those kind of applications are crucial to rely on a company who knows what they're doing, because AI may have knowledge, but they don't have, like, AI doesn't have hands-on experience. For example, when I'm looking at the salary projection, I'm looking at 5-year salary projection. I'm saying, okay, this school negotiates this way, another school negotiates it this way, and then I have another school that negotiates completely different. And I put that thought and I put that experience into my code so that I can handle that.
Okay.
However, there are so many things that you can build with AI today that doesn't need any payment. For example, I needed this app and I built it. By the way, if you want, you can onboard that app too. It's free for friends. What it is, what it is, I was going to a lot of conferences.
Yeah.
When you go to a lot of conferences and you have a booth, people come to you and you meet a lot of people. Then you come back with 50 different business cards.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then you don't remember what you spoke to this business card, to that business card. You need to have a notepad, you take notes, but then you forget. I was always taking selfies. I meet Isa and I say,
forget the person's face.
let me take a selfie with you.
Yeah.
Hold on your badge. They hold their badge. I take a selfie. Then I would text myself their photo and what we spoke about.
Yeah.
Then I said, this could be an automation, NA10 automation, for example. Yeah. We built an NA10 bot. We put that bot into Slack. We integrated with Slack. And then I would start doing that in Slack, where I would take a selfie, I would say what we spoke about, and then the Slack bot would take my conversation, would take my photo, and go to my Gmail and create a draft email for me, right, so that I can just go
as
review.
A follow-up.
As a follow-up. And then I said, okay, but that still, I need to follow in Slack and I need to go back. What if I build an app? It took me 4 hours to build that app. And now I can take a selfie with anyone at the conference. If I upload the business card, it parses their business card and it fills out my information right there and then.
That's it.
I can assign it to my employees to follow up. I can also take a selfie. If they don't have a business card, AI will look at their name and their position, will go search their information online, because my customers are mostly public people. It takes their email address, phone number, the organization they work for, everything. It fills it up. And then it takes my conversation with that. Like I say, we spoke about this, I need to get back. It takes that and it creates a draft in my Gmail. And once I send the Gmail, I can mark it as sent. So now I have like a little cool CRM tool that I can follow up my contacts. I have 65 contacts in there.
That's so we have this academy. I'm gonna give you, like, speaking of that, which we would have 2 people go and have booths at career fairs for universities.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do these people go and they don't get these students things? Because our academy was positioned to help people straight out of college to learn AI, a little deeper, because before they get thrown, or in parallel they get thrown to their workplace, right? Mm-hmm. And what I created, I was eating dinner. I'm like, how do I make this process seamless and make the experience easier? And I made I had them print this huge QR code. It would just take to 1 page where they either upload, take a picture of their resume, and since it's a career fair, one is we have now talent database,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Number two, what they get in return is they get an email and on screen an AI that analyzed their resume and say, hey, you could do this better, you could do this better, you could do this better. And it said, improve your resume.
Yeah.
Improve your resume, QR code. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And people don't even have to go talk to these people. They just go, I have their resume, I know they have intent, and I know like what their background and stuff, and they're contacting my CRM. And that was like, I was eating dinner, and I was like, and then Claude Code whipped it up, put it in a domain in one of the pages, and it's still up actually. It's here, I'll show real quickly. And then I want you to show a use case for an average Joe, how they could use, like as a demo for closing out our talk.
Okay,
How's that sound?
yeah, we can do that.
Let me just show you this. I think it's, yeah, retainer.academy. Oh. I don't know why I did that, but Career Boost Resume Analyzer. And you just upload your resume, and then it analyzes your resume, or you can take a picture, done, and that's it.
But how quick was that?
That was like 2 hours, and then I reviewed it, made some changes, adding the domain. Everything together maybe took like 3 hours, 30 minutes.
Okay, let me tell you how much money it would take.
Oh my God.
And
I used to do custom development.
Oh yeah.
Be like,
it would
at least a
probably
month.
take a month or two, and you needed to pay at least $15,000 to a developer to create that.
Yeah.
And now it's in 2 hours, and it's so. Here's my message to young people, because that is very, very important. If you're a student, if you are at a college, and if you want money, instead of going to a restaurant if you are a student and if you are at a college and if you want to make money, instead of going and working for a restaurant as a waiter, here's what you do. And this is an advice from many, many different people too. You go, you find all those restaurants, you create a page, web page, with Claude Code, which will take you 1 hour. You actually create a template first.
You can do Claude Design for template, and then hand off to Claude Code.
Hand off to Claude Code. And then you create a template, and then you say, I want to convert this template to this restaurant. Go research their colors, their logo, and I'll create it.
Tomorrow I'm going to visit these 5 restaurants on my street. And you give them the names and then their current website.
You show the website to them. You say, I made you a website. Do you want to pay me $200?
I will literally activate it today.
Right? This is so easy money.
This is unbelievable.
And
It'll pay for your Claude subscription.
Yeah.
For starters.
Yeah, exactly. The first one will pay for your Claude subscription. Yes. Now, think about it. If you made that a job for yourself and you said, okay, I'll charge $50 per month. And
for hosting.
My goal is to get 100 customers. That's $5,000 a month. With you do not too much work. It's a website. It sits there. Yeah. And then you charge them $100 every time they want to update the menu. You get the menu, you update it on the website, and now they have the website. Now, how easy was this? Or don't just think big. Just go to your relatives, go to your father, go to your mother, go to your uncle, and then ask people, what kind of problem do you experience at work?
Right, that's what we do.
And how can I solve the problem?
That's what we used to do. We would go to small businesses. We wouldn't tell them we do marketing. We'd be like, hey, like if you, like who are you using for marketing and what is like the biggest pain point? That's always the starting conversation. And now we're moved away from like people working corporation to people who could do things with AI that could make them money. But we would just basically be like, hey, which pain point do you have? A couple of pain points in terms of revenue and in terms of operations that you can solve.
Yeah.
And they'll say some of the stupidest things, not stupidest, but like simplest things that you're like, oh my God, I can whip this up eating dinner for 30 minutes tonight.
But think about it, Isa. Would you go and manufacture a car right now?
Right now, probably not, because I don't know.
Because there are special, like people who have specialty and they manufacture a car, we drive it. Same concept. The car is very complex. It's hard. Same concept. A small business owner will not have time to sit down, learn AI, learn to code, learn this, learn that.
Yeah.
But these young people, instead of going and having fun all day long, spare the 2 hours to create some
Okay.
money for
I
fun.
don't agree with that because
No,
fun is
have
good.
fun.
Have fun,
but don't
then
have all the fun.
all
I
the
mean,
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like okay, like all summer, let's say you're in college, right? And I'm not judging anyone, but when I was in college, I'd work the whole summer. I'd work during the week. I'm not saying while you're studying. Like, do as you wish. But during the summer, you have these 3 months that if you really put in the work, you could master things with AI.
What did we say? We said 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes a day can save you. 15 minutes.
15 minutes a day can save you.
15 minutes a day, you can do stuff. I mean, it's just incredible.
All right, so a little demo from you about, I don't know, you take it away, or they'll take a look at this.
Okay, so I think we can do.
We already created a bit of a sample.
Small of us, maybe. Can we put
I can add that. Let's see, pick video. This is A, this is B. Let's do that. Oh, other way around. So let's go, this is A, this is B. Let's go like that. And let me make this a little smaller. There we go.
Okay, so what we did before this conversation, and we'll work on that use case for, I would say most of the small businesses can apply this in different ways. If you do any kind of sales, it doesn't matter if it's a service, if it's a supply, if it's a restaurant. This example will be a restaurant, I think. Yeah, it is a restaurant. Now, what we did, we asked Claude to create a sample POS transaction output for us.
Just save some time. Doing your demo.
Exactly. And then I asked for a template, and that this created an Excel spreadsheet. It has the README, which explains what this is. Then it has the POS transactions. This is basically what people eat at particular day of the week and particular time of the day. And then we have item performance. It created item performance, which we don't need. And then it created day and time summary. What I'll do, I'll download this.
Usually downloads.
Okay. And then I will open a new chat, but then I will switch to artifacts. What is artifacts? I want to show you what artifact is. Artifact in Claude, and by the way, you can also do it in ChatGPT. They used to have Canvas, and you used to do it in Canvas. Now I think you can just ask it and it will do it for you.
Yeah.
In Google, in Gemini, it is called Canvas. You can enable Canvas from this plus sign. So if you
can you give it a tiny bit of background on what an artifact is?
Yeah, that's what I will do now. This plus sign gives you the tools that we were discussing, right? You and your tools. Yeah. Canvas is one of the tools that the Gemini has. What is Canvas? What is artifact? Artifact is anything you can create that is reusable. It can be a document, it can be a dashboard, it can be a website, it can be a calculator, it can be anything that is reusable. But this time, what we're trying to
automatically
create,
updates.
And
I think that's the main.
So what I will do, I will actually create something that you can upload stuff to.
Right. Okay.
But you can make it update. Yeah. For example, you can have the artifact.
Like if that data kept coming from the POS every day, it could update your dashboard.
Update your dashboard, and you can look at the dashboard.
It's towards the summer. Your winners are now these foods.
Exactly. Yeah. So now let's build from scratch. We don't know what we're doing right now. What I will be doing, I'll just go to artifact and I will say I want a new artifact. I'll create a new chat artifact. Chat artifact and co-work artifact are two different things. I don't want to get into like what's chat, what's co-work, but if you if you're a business owner, you have to go into and look at
And learn
what
like what the
co-work
difference are.
is.
Try both.
Co-work is an amazing tool that you have never experienced. I'm just saying, co-work is great. Anyway, what I'll do, I will bring in the downloaded.
You can just go back and if you go here.
Okay, go back here. Yeah, okay. I will go to
It's the
downloads. It's this one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I uploaded my spreadsheet. Again, imagine that this is just a raw spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be complex. It's just a raw output from your POS system. And then you start explaining. Now, if it was Isa, it would be writing, but it's me. That's why I'm speaking. I will just explain stuff. Hey, now I want you to act as a developer, as a software engineer who's specialized in restaurant business data analytics. And I also want you to act as a data analyst who understands data and puts dashboards together. I want you to create a dashboard, and this dashboard will take the tab in this spreadsheet, which you will see that there's a tab with transactions, with POS transactions, and create a beautiful dashboard. Now that dashboard should tell me what I need to improve in my restaurant, what menu items are selling better, what time of the day is the best time to offer certain meal to people, and so on. I mean, imagine that you also are you are a restaurant owner and you understand what needs to be done once you look at the data. I want you to include some filters there, whatever filters are necessary. You can do day filter, you can do time of the day filter, you can do a menu item, I mean, whatever. You look at the data and understand the data. One rule for you is that you cannot use the data I'm providing to you right now. The only thing you do, you understand the data, you understand the structure, and then you understand that I will be uploading that Excel file. Once I upload the Excel file, then the dashboard will view itself, will reveal itself. So the first page will have a button. It will say upload your report. I will click that button, upload my Excel file, and it will just give me give me the view, give me the analysis view. If you have questions, don't ask. That's what happens when you speak too much. But we can go back and continue. If you have questions, don't ask those questions at this point because this is demo. But for our audience, always let it ask you questions because it is important that you cover those questions. Try to build it faster because we need to show the result to our audience. Use modern colors, use modern views for the website. It needs to be very nice and appealing for us. Do you want to add anything?
No, I'm good. That's great.
Okay, once you explain this, let me remove the audience part. First page, button. Oh, I need to go this way. But for the audience, always ask questions. Okay. Okay. So now what we do, we send it on its way. Again, you always tell it to ask you questions, right? Because without the questions, I mean, there is no point. I may miss some stuff there. It may be...
I'll build this for you.
Yeah, it may be, you know, it'll ask me a very important question. But what's happening right now, it's analyzing what we said. Let me close this so that it's... And I'll make it larger.
And you can show how it's analyzing things.
Yeah, and always, you know, you can feel free to look at it and
look at its reasoning,
thinking and reasoning. But what's going on with this now? I'll give you a use case. Some businesses would say, I don't want to share my data with AI because it's not good. You know, I'm very hesitant with with sharing the AI because my information is private. I don't want to share my sales data. It is my confidential data. Good. That's why artifacts are available for you. What you do, you take a report, you replicate
You put it on the
the
website,
same
that's on local.
report. No. The report you download from your system, that's confidential. Perfect. You take it, you duplicate that, change all of the data to fake data.
Right.
Right? Put wrong names, wrong stuff, like that's okay. Then upload that report, create the tool, then upload your real report.
Right.
What is the difference? The difference is this. When you feed the fake report, AI uses the fake
Understands
report
what's
to
going
build
on.
it.
Yeah.
When you upload the report, it does not send it to AI now. If you don't have AI analysis built into your artifact, it stays into your browser.
It will not make API calls to the AI models.
So next time you open the dashboard...
If you go deeper, what I do is I will... Like I have a couple of clients that do have that kind of a thing. So when we build things for them or teach them how to build, we will have a self-hosted model that they can keep in-house.
Yeah.
But if you're using one of these tools, yes, that's because that website artifact that this is about to create will just sit like any other software, but it will only be accessible from your local, and you'll probably get it up on a local host.
Exactly.
3000.
And the
actually, they
done.
just came out. They just came out with a new thing where it automatically opens them here.
Yeah.
It just came out like 2-3 days ago.
This is it.
No, but before it would like launch it to localhost.
No.
It ports it directly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where artifacts live. Sorry. When you go to artifacts, for example, these two are the artifacts you built before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Right. So the artifact will be placed in here.
Right.
Let me go back to artifacts. Now I lost that.
I think you had a chat artifact.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now it's creating the file. We'll look at the
What
file.
are your thoughts on, you know how you just said like these corporations are very careful with their data and stuff, and now they're opening it up to all of their employees, and how do they govern that?
Again, that comes to the training. You cannot govern.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I feel like I'm just playing devil's advocate. I agree with you that employees should be allowed to use AI. They should be encouraged to use AI. That's what I do at my company. I'm just playing the devil's advocate from what I've heard from other people, what their concerns are when letting their people use AI. Two main concerns is one, AI slop, which is quality being lower. Just because people, instead of doing a better job, think AI can replace their thing, and they can just go and like sit at home and do nothing. Right? That's number one. And number two is leakage and security of their data and the confidential information of their company. So how do you think, besides training, how do you think companies can tiptoe this? And for me, one is like, hey, give them their self-hosted model that they can that actually understands your business and has access to your database that your employees can use. And there's companies that go and build these kind of things.
Yeah, but how many companies have money to create self-hosted?
So the smaller ones.
It's really hard. For smaller ones, I would say you need to provide AI access to your staff rather than them using their own. It's very important because if you give them Claude subscription, now you can see every single Claude chat that your staff did. And you own the chat, and you own the environment, you own the workspace. And that's what probably the most important thing that people don't know is that news, attention, your employees already use their personal stuff for work stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not controlling it.
Yeah.
I would rather have my own company-wide AI and have people use that subscription, even if I'm paying for the subscription, so that I can control the content.
Yeah. And one other thing is there was a period, or there still were in a period where Claude, like companies gave Claude code to their engineers, and they didn't like cap usage. And next thing they
With
know,
API?
the bills,
Yeah.
the bills that came out was like I could have hired 2 of these engineers.
Yeah.
And what
No,
I do,
I would say
but do you
start
think the
small,
token
right?
prices and because the way I think about AI currently in enterprise scale or company scale is that tokens right now are at a discounted price. We know how much each token costs from compute power for how much electricity is paid for it, how much we pay for the water to cool down those GPUs, how much we're paying for real estate, how much we're paying for people to maintain those, how much we're paying for people to install those data centers. So those companies, the ChatGPTs, OpenAI's, Anthropics, they know exactly how much cost of a token is. And right now I feel like they're just handing it out.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah,
at a crazy discount price to gain market share.
Yeah.
That's why they have to like raise so much money. And we'll go into the demo. But for the small companies, I guess this doesn't apply to what you're advocating for, help you do the jobs, but how do they cap the token usage?
I think
and
even for the
cost?
developers, like for small company developers, like if you're a startup, if you're 5 people, instead of using API, give people subscription. That's how you control it. Like give people $100 subscription to Cloud Code and say you cannot exceed it. If it says to rest, rest.
Yeah.
I don't want you to work 24 hours, right?
Yes.
And that's how companies can cap it. Because if you don't cap it that way, then it's really hard you can't limit it, right? Yeah. I mean, you can limit it, but anyway, I think starting small is a key.
Yeah.
Start small,
and
give $20 subscription, let them finish the $20 subscription in 2 hours and then come complain, then increase it.
Yeah.
Do not just give out because people don't use it most of the time. Anyway, we have this ready.
Wow, it looks like a notebook for your restaurant.
Oh, it's actually a guest check. It's really cool design too.
That's what you said. Give it a good design.
Yeah, it's cool. And now I can just upload my report.
Boom. That is beautiful.
With graphs.
Wow. Wow. And that was off of just people, like, that is off of just him using Tada, talking to the chat, and that was a one shot.
Not
and
typing.
It looks great.
Not typing.
Okay, all right.
How much would it take you to type that?
I mean, I don't think it looked this beautiful, but I don't get what I wanted.
Yeah, I know, but how much would it take you to type that?
A long time.
Yeah, a long time. Exactly.
Also, we need, we're not going to do this right now because this is a demo, but we would, oh wow, it's even like...
It's filtering too. You can filter stuff.
It's responsive.
You can do filter stuff and you can reset it. Right away. It thought about that too, but let's look at it.
And you can do a new report next week on the right top side.
Exactly. You can do another export and then you can do another view. Now let's look at it. Sundays.
Sunday brunch.
And it also gave us
Let's see how realistic it is. Do Sunday brunch. Those should be their highest sales. Copper Skillet was the average check $31.50 revenue one. Now do like a Tuesday. Do a Tuesday brunch. And delete Sunday.
This is a fake data, you know that, right?
Oh, goddamn.
Tuesday, there is no brunch.
There's no brunch.
So people don't eat brunch. I don't know. I mean, or maybe for brunch, let's look at appetizers. What kind of appetizers, do they have? Nothing. Anyway, this is a fake data. Of course,
Sell into
maybe
your
the brunch.
peak. Dinner is your biggest day part. And it gives
dinner,
you what to improve.
Appetizer. Let's look at dinner appetizers. This is peak hours, best day, top seller, buffalo wings, So then we need to push buffalo
I'm really
wings,
hungry.
Right?
Now I'm hungry.
So hungry right
now. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I mean, but how easy was this?
We talked for like maybe 5 minutes while they got ready. So that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
It was a great conversation. Great. We should do more.
We should do more.
Appreciate you, and I'm gonna walk out of here with you. So,
thank you.
Stop the recording.